Just looking back at yesterday's trading session, just our initial impression, right, is that we have a very B-shaped profile indicating liquidation. And so what we can do is we can look back, right? We see this kind of bigger balance that we're sitting in. We've been sitting in this balance for a pretty good amount of time now. And you can see we get above, pretty much above this balance, no continuation, and then the market starts to liquidate from there. So everything pretty much like long that had been occurred as the market got up here, they just started to liquidate, and then they covered the rest of their position here. It is key to note that we got a pretty decent response off of the T2 low yesterday. Came down there. You can even zoom in here so you can see it a little bit easier. But we came down here in G period, bounced up, got that first, or actually that first station one time frame was D, but got that, kind of bounce up, died right at the E, left that mechanical high behind, and then K period, kind of the same idea. If you guys were watching during K period was kind of wild. It was kind of all over the place, and then eventually went up, and then the market kind of settled up at the highs. Jumping into today, we can see that inventory is 100% net long, right? We have the settle here, pretty much everything is above, and it's above that half back. So kind of the first play, I think, or the first opportunity we have today, I'd like to see, is if the market does come back to that settle and tap that settle, there's an opportunity there to probably get long if the market shows. If you look back, we have these point of controls from the past 2 days kind of overlapping each other here, and it's right, if you really zoom out, it's right in the thin spot from the rest of the time in this balance, right? So you've kind of got value here, point of control here, point of control here, point of control here, point of control here. And then we have our point of control here and our point of control here, but really the most volume was actually up here. So an open that comes down to that and holds, that kind of brings in the full balance. And we can really look like, off of this 46, 43 area, look for that half back and that T2 high to get tested. So that sets us up for a nice, nice little 10, 20 point possible move. And then we'll look to see if they can get above yesterday's open, which was 38.81. I think that would be kind of the key sign, really, if there is going to be any upside continuation. Let's take a peek at some stocks here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to drag this over. There we go. All right, so we've got Apple here. You can see Apple, just kind of got a little massacre down early. If we take this down to the intraday, I found something else yesterday called uh, hmm. There's something that will compare our volumes. Here we go. There we go. So we can see that today's pre-market volume on Apple is 900,000 versus yesterday's pre-market was only 400,000. All right, so that can give us a little bit of insight that, and you can see kind of Apple's leaving a little bit of a gap right here. If we do see the market get continuation, there is some size in the market. It's looking like pre-market here. Take a peek at AMD. AMD is relatively light, so that could be a fade to reversion to mean play. Amazon's double. Google's about double. Meta's about double. Microsoft's way over.
What was AMD? Double, you said?
No, AMD's about the same. It's like about 10,000, 20,000 less.
Okay.
We get Tesla real quick. 3 million pre-market volume today. They had 2 million yesterday, which is a fucking lot, but even 3 million, that's a lot. They won't do the. They'll do it for gold, I guess. Gold looks kind of weak. Something I've been tracking recently too is silver. Silver looks like it's been getting a nice uptrend rolling here, and there may be some opportunities off of this like 23 level to get long silver. Silver futures, that is. Soy Locust, thank you for the follow. I'm sure I butchered your name, so I'm sorry. We've got about 8 minutes left till the market opens, guys. If you guys have any questions or anything that you'd want to see talked about if the market is slow, we have some economic data coming out today. If we look at the calendar here, we can kind of see we have the ISM manufacturing numbers coming out 30 minutes after the open, and then we have the FOMC minute, and then the jolts as well, and then we have FOMC minutes coming out at 1400, 2 o'clock this afternoon. So there could be some volatility. You never know, kind of with the Fed minutes. It's like, oh, we're gonna get this crazy move, and then nothing happens, or people are like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, and then you get this crazy move. So it's really a tough read a lot of times for that. And it makes you like, should I just stay on until 2 o'clock and see if we see any volatility, maybe some opportunities, but gigantic pain in the ass too. So
That caught me last month. I kept waiting for it to just range and it kept moving. I remember. I was like, you motherfucker.
oh,
The
yeah,
FOMC. It
yeah.
was like, oh, it's going to be a calm day going in. Then it just kind of kept fading up or, rising up. If I remember correctly.
And if we look on a daily here, kind of good time. Um, let's just So if we change this to the daily, and then change the settings up, send it out. Okay. So all these should be marked somewhere. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, so you can kind of see I marked all the fibs. I told you guys I went on a fib spree this weekend. Green is monthly, red is yearly, yellow is the COVID. But anyways, so what we can kind of see here is we see, the big move off of the low. We see a gap get put in here, spends time above the gap, has now moved back down into the gap to kind of repair that structure. I would say this structure is repaired. This structure, maybe that's the test that we're looking for, a test back down into this area because there's not really much there. But if there's no real test lower, it makes sense to come back up and kind of repair some of these weaker gaps that are up here. So we'll really have to look out, and you can kind of see like where this balance has been happening in between the 50 and the 38.2 retracement, I guess. I mean, it's nothing is exact, but it is good to at least know where they're at. I mean, they're pretty far apart. Like this one's at 38, next one's at 37, right? So inside here, it's not like there's no trading opportunity. It's just to know where they're at. Like, say you're trading for the day, and then all of a sudden something crazy happens, and you have no idea why, and then you're like, oh, the fucking COVID low fib is right there, and maybe that's a reason. Because a lot of people are tracking these things, and so that could, if a lot of people are using them, most likely there's going to be a reaction from them. Morning, John. Morning, Peter.
Day trading might seem tough, the rules might be different, but really,
What the fuck? Simpler trading. I've actually heard good things about them. The book I'm reading is actually one of the guys that works there, I think, or one of the doctors that a little bit of upside right here leading into the open. Got about 2 minutes. $30 seconds from catching some upside right into the open. It's interesting. All right, here's the open. We open up right at the top of a previous spike. So initially unable to take the Globex high there. Let's see if that's going to hold. That's a pretty weak looking high if you ask me. You can see how the breath opens up here. Very positive. Oh, very tight range to start the day. Remember, we've got a lot of numbers coming out after the market opens, and so that could be what the market's waiting on here to really make a decisive move. Here we go, back above the open is a buy. Didn't quite get there. Come on. If we can get back above the open, we should be able to buy that. VWAP is down at 38.59. But you can tell, I mean, you can see the VWAP, fairly flat here, but it's actually kind of stepping up. So you can kind of assume there's some decent volume that started to come in towards the latter end of that session. Breath is fading. The rest of the sectors are kind of turning red here. The weighted AD is just sitting at 0. A little bit of short covering there off the 60. Volume coming in at the lows, should get continuation. Let's look for the reaction off that half back. Eldoro, good morning. You can see pretty much every sector here has kind of flipped red. It's looking similar to how it looked yesterday, except for this time our tick is fading right away here. Yeah, volume's still really low. I mean, look at this profile here. I mean, it just looks disgusting. We probably won't see much volume till after 10 o'clock when they get that JOLTS job report. And that's going to be kind of, I think, one of those, especially with the Fed minutes coming out, it's going to be one of those good news is bad news type thing where if the market likes what it sees, then we may get a rally. Like if it's a low number, the market may rally, thinking that the Fed is going to be softening into it. But if it's a high number, the market may rally. But if it's a low number, the market may go down because the market's looking for high job openings, right? Because it's for some reason we're trying. That's how you get inflation down is people don't have jobs, I guess. A little bit of a bounce up there. You see the tapering off the low. Market's coming back up to repair this structure. Some of the sectors flipping to green here. You're seeing tech trying to go green as well. Above the open, like I said, I think it's a buy. So look at the tick. Tick's back above 1,000 already. Almost. Tick is being a very interesting lately. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the tick later on in the session yesterday, but we had, I mean, a 1,500 tick at like, 2:30 or 2:45 in the afternoon. I cannot remember the last time I've seen that. And I mean, I watch the tick every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not sure. All right. So target from here is going to be the open from yesterday, which is 38.82. We can't get real continuation above this open and kind of hold this open, then I'm going to bail on the position, but so far so good. Weak spot below is 71 quarters, so if it cracks that 71 quarter, it'll probably retrace all the way back down to 70, honestly. 71 quarter, and there's 70. So back to the open almost. See if they defend it. They're not letting anybody trade the 70 here. Roach, are you in here? Oh, he's in. So this is kind of an interesting look here. They didn't let anybody trade the 70. It looks like they probably want to go back down and try to trade that 70, I feel like. That's my bad. I didn't do this thing for the Zoom.
Jim Dalton also had something going on at 9. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had a webinar today. I'll have to watch it later. It was a short one. It was only supposed to be like 40 minutes, it said. So I was like, yeah, I'll check it out after.
yeah, that's my thoughts too. It's also because there's 10 minutes of selling going on.
At least. Yeah. At least. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, if it's a long... Oh, my bad, guys. If it's a long one, then, I wouldn't mind catching it. But if it's a short one, most times it's probably...
Yeah, and I also kind of like to watch him on like 1.25, 1.5 speed because he talks slow.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. So look, they go down there and they trade that 70. Let's see if there's a reaction here. Open was 69 today. And you're looking at the tick here, and the tick is just pinned up here. And a lot of times, this is something I've heard Peter Resnick say, a lot of times is when the tick is pinned up here at 1,000, it ends up turning into a trend day to whatever side the tick is on if the tick doesn't fall apart. Now, if the tick falls apart, then a lot of times it's a reversal, and that would be looking to take us to the low of balance here if this tick falls apart on us. So just pay attention to that, right? Especially as the day progresses. If the tick starts to fall apart, don't be afraid to just be done with a position, because that is not really something that you want to be in the way of, honestly. Where's that fucking open at? 80. Oh, it's 82-ish. 82. There you are, Roach. Roach, so I actually just called your name like a couple seconds ago, and then you posted right in the Discord right after I was like, hey, Roach, can you look at this real quick? I don't know if you noticed it, but on your DOM, if you, I mean, before right now, obviously, did you see at 70, there was literally no orders traded on the bid when we came up just now? Did you notice that?
No, you know what? I didn't notice anything. I was trying to figure out how to get into Zoom. I don't know why. Were you guys in here for a while?
Yeah, we've been in here since like a little bit after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what it wouldn't show up on my Discord. I had no Zoom link until
I didn't post it. That's why I forgot to post it. That was my bad.
Oh, okay, then that's normal. Yeah,
So look at 75 on your DOM right now. There's no trades on the bid. See that?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they've been doing this. This is the third time I've seen this happen today. Somebody's scooping this thing up. This thing might just go straight up today.
Yeah, they're sweeping it, in other words.
Somebody is scooping this thing up, and then they're backing and filling. Like, we get a test back down to 75.50, and then another leg up. Little offer here on the 77, because they're trying to get back down to that 75.50.
Yeah, to fill it in. Yeah, I see that. There's I got 375 on the offer and nothing on the bid.
So in this situation, basically what we're waiting on is there could be easily, well, if the tick starts to fade back to zero, this thing could reverse, but so there's the backing and filling of it. But basically this thing is kind of setting up for singles.
77 quarter had a bunch of sells on about 400. I mean, you could see on 77 half it was 1,500 and some, but I mean, they came out at once, about 400 and some. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, right there at that 70.
What was your price that I missed? I wasn't here yet. You said there was nothing
70.
on the bid?
It was 70.
70 even.
Yeah, 70 even. Yeah, and then they did on
They
75 again. They fixed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they already backed, so okay. See what happens at 70.
The tick's kind of falling down here. Back below the open, and the tick's falling apart. This is what we talked about. Like this is what we had to be cautious of.
Yeah, and they're hitting the bid pretty good.
What's interesting though is this is that T2 high range. So anyone that's short, so we have 2 points of control from 46. So we have to kind of assume what's happening here with these bounces, because we've had two bounces that both didn't last there, even though the tick was just getting pinned. So we're wondering if all of that buying is short covering. Everyone's short covering at this T2 high that's short here, and they're getting, covering as close as they can to zero. But like we said, when we have a tick that's pinned above 1,000 and starts to fall apart, we have to pay attention for a reversal. This weighted AD starts to go negative. I mean, look at tech picking up 40%. Just went from almost positive to down 40%. That's a pretty big move. Or 0.4%, not 40%. You guys know what I mean. But like, I mean, that's a pretty big move there. So you've got to be careful in these. Back to the VWAP here.
Got a lot of news at 10 too.
Right. Yeah. Pretty narrow range so far, right? Only 23 points. Back above the T2 high. Watch for the VPOC to shift down here, and then if the market bounces back above the open, then you get another buy there. We didn't quite get to our 82, which was our target on that long, but a decent long nonetheless. And there was some decent opportunity down there. I had orders to get filled at 63 and 62.75, but only got filled one lot on 63, and that's it. Hello? Okay. That's good. That's good. Bye. See if they're going to hold the VWAP here.
Good morning.
What do you say? Peter says what? He says Peter also says the ADD must be pegged above 2,000 for training day along with the ticks. Right. Right. True. Let's see if they pop this open again. Tick's trying to bounce. Oh. Weighted AD's trying to come back up as well. My computer's being super slow today. My gosh. A little selling above the open. They weren't able to pop the open there. My computer's running pretty slow right now. For some reason. It came back down. We still haven't had one negative tick yet, though. But you're seeing tech, tech really pulled off the high. Healthcare really pulled off the high. Apple's just still kind of sticking in range, but it's kind of moving lower here as well. More selling trying to come in at 62, getting caught there. A lot of liquidity sitting kind of just like right above the open. Or right below the open, excuse me. All right, I'm going to take some off right here, right before the open. And then if we get this retest of 63 again, I'll add them back. But if Now I'm just trying to run this last one up to, where's that seller at earlier? 77.
Remember, we got news in less than 5 minutes.
Oh shit. Good call, good call. There's like I mean, not really a big seller, but a decent size offer sitting literally right below the open at 68.5. Even if the market goes down off of the news, I feel like it almost has to go up and get that liquidity first. But I mean, doesn't have to, but
Yeah, that's right where we had a little liquidation on the way down from like 70 to 68 half. Was like the stops came right out. They can't get above it now.
yeah, which makes me think that we're just gonna blast forward here. We're not getting a single
Yeah.
negative tick.
Yeah, we might blow right through that if we could get into it. If it could go bid in there somewhere.
Right. Three minutes. I'll be right back, guys. Remember, if there is a sell down, that target is right here where volume's at. You've got about like 45 seconds, guys. So if you're in a trade right here, make sure that risk is managed before this turn of the clock. The book has gone basically flat. There's 68.50. There's the crack. Ooh. Little chaos going on here. Oh. Getting scary. Remember we're at the pullback area that we were talking about. Oh shit. Must not have been good. Oh my gosh.
The MES is flying completely in different spots right now. It was like 7 points different just a second ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
it
shit.
was. Yeah, now it's starting to sync up, but boy, that's when you know you don't need to be anywhere near in this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's where you know you're just like, you know what?
I got freaking like lucky. I put it in. I had a pretty tight stop, like 2.5 points. And I just like on all four of my evals, and I put my take profit 10 points up, and it almost back ticked me. I mean, it got like really close, and then it popped up and hit my take profit, and then fell like immediately after.
Hmm.
So the
But it was
initial
like
impulse was down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
anyway, it was so it was just luck. I just happened to put my take profit right in the range of where it was going. But yeah, my had not ideal, but not bad.
So the initial impulse was like a little pop up above the open, but then immediately a smackarooski down, right? B opened up and just smack down. But look, we're right back where we stopped. So another break above the open, especially look at the tick. It's already back above 0. Weighted AD didn't go negative. You know, if we could see tech and healthcare start to, you know, pay attention to what everyone's trying to do here, which is get long, there might be some opportunity for the upside. But until then, like, it's really tough to go for a breakout. So you're going to have to buy these pullbacks with tight stops and be ready. One area that I've been focused on today, even though it's not really marked, is the 63. It's basically the VWAP. I've just been buying right above the VWAP every time, and there we go, back above the open. We should be good here for a little while. Look at tech's almost back to green. Look at it. Tech's paying attention. They were listening. Let's go. Above that 75. Nice. See, it's tough to get in on a breakout. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have the full conviction yet, but it's looking close to where this breakout is going to be good to go here. And with the next target up 3,900 is 3901.50 is the next look up, but 3,900 is right there above us as well.
One thing I do want to say is that my take profit was within the A value range. I was not being like crazy and putting it way up. I just wanted to make sure everyone not like insane.
I was gambling the news, but I was not too gambling on the news.
Well, but my stop wasn't too bad.
No, that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, as long as you had like your stop like above the A high, like
my stop was above it.
Yeah.
My stop was well, I was doing to the upside, not to the downside.
Oh, you were long. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
thought
long.
You were short. Oh, okay.
No. I got in at 65. I think because I had to add because I did 4 counts in a row, and so I had to keep switching accounts because I don't have I don't want to do the copier.
Yeah.
And so I got in at 65.50, and then I got in at 64, and then at 63.50, and then at 63, I think, for the different 4 accounts. I put all of my stops at the same at 150, and then I put all of my take profits at 75, I think, because it was still within the range. I was looking at the A value high. And so I was like, well, if it's going to try and pop the top, it may not make it all the way to the high of A, but I figure at least it was going to approach it, which is why I put it there. And when it started getting volatile, of course, switching between 4 accounts to make changes, not likely. So I was like, I'm gonna write it out and see what happens.
Nice.
And it worked.
Fuck yeah, it did. So here we go, back to the lows now. No breakouts.
Yeah, his book is thin.
Yeah, I mean that's what's crazy is like there's just no breakouts. But I think one more of these, you know what I mean? If it gets back to the high, I think that this is a breakout you can take here. But I mean, look at that reverse on tech. Holy shoot. That's a smackarooski. A little bit of short covering down there. I'm still watching the 63. Now that we're below it, and we just smashed through it right there, so I didn't even get a chance to play it. But watch this 63 here if it's going to get offered up. Because, I mean, but this thing could be coming back down to the 20 maybe.
I totally forgot. My new model actually does a sell.
Oh no,
So the bot got out
46. Oh, the
slightly
bot.
down. Well, the bot didn't play, but my new model would have played. But
Mhm.
it also has, for this particular type of trade, has an exit. And it would have gotten out about 20% down on its original in. So anyway.
I feel like this is, I know we got the minutes at 2, so not for a while. So this thing could carry down, like we talked about, like this real failure up here, and then the ticks fell apart. If it doesn't hold this POC, the low of balance would be 1450, and then you've got all these Fibonacci's down here, 3820, 3810, 3801, you know. And Roach, I don't know if you were here early, but I labeled these fibs here. I guess the labels don't stay on. I guess they don't stay like where they're supposed to stay. What the fuck? Thought they were gonna get pinned to the edge, but they're not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
I don't really look at it too much. I don't look at
me
your
neither.
screen too
So
much.
me neither. But this, over this break that I took, like the past 2 weeks, I kind of went on like a rampage of learning, and Fibonacci just happened to be on the list because like I was reading this book, and this guy started talking about Fibonacci's, and I've always just been like, okay, Fibonacci,
Yeah.
like it's just like, okay, it's enough of this magical
No,
nonsense. But
no,
uh,
no. I don't mean I don't look at fibs. I mean I don't look at your screen too much. I just listen, but
oh, you can.
I will look. I will look to see what you're looking at. What are you using fibs on, a daily or something, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I have them on a monthly. So it's
Okay,
a swing. So the swing high to swing low on the monthly is this
okay,
green number, and then this red
okay,
number is a yearly fib. So last year's retracements from last year's high to last year's low, and then the yellow is the COVID low to COVID high.
okay. Yeah,
And these are
yeah. No, no.
all.
I wasn't saying nothing against fibs. I mean, I don't use them too much, but I'm not. They work. They work.
Yeah, yeah,
If
and
they,
I don't have anything really against them. I just haven't used them, and I've always just kind of I always just see people cherry pick,
yeah,
cherry
exactly.
pick like their representation of it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, see, look right here, and it bounces right off
Yeah,
this, and it's like easy. And it's like,
and
well,
sometimes what they put them on, and there's so many fibs. Well, yeah, it's going to hit one, and then also, when do they say the fib failed? Like it could go through by 8 or 2 points and say, oh, it held. Well, there's got to be some sort of, so it's hard to, like I say, if you can make them work, great. But I just, a lot
exact.
of,
And I think one of the most important things that Jim Dalton ever told me, at least that stuck with me the most, is that I need to stop worrying about exactness. I used to be
yeah,
fixated on an exact number. And so that's kind of why I did these fibs like this, um, for like they're more long dated. So we can assume, because I didn't go anywhere closer than monthly fib, right? I mean, if you're doing daily fibs and stuff, that might just get out of control. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it could just get wild. Um, because like you're saying, it's just too many lines. It's gonna hit one. If you put enough moving averages on your chart, it's like when you see people trading like a fucking 12 moving average. You're like, what?
yeah. Even the moving average, they work on every chart I've ever used them on. It seems like you get some kind of reaction off them. It's
Yeah,
just a matter of, what do you do with them?
exactly. And that's the thing is like, okay, so let's say this thing comes down to the 3817 bid. Right? Or let's even like watch this. I make this the full size. Maximize cell. So check this out. If we just look on a 30-minute chart and we zoom out, I mean the colors are crazy because of the volume, but I mean you can see, look, it comes down to the fibs, like, I mean, but this is a range from 3820 to 3800, comes down to the fibs, rallies, comes up to this other fib, sells off. Down here, comes down to these fibs, then rallies. Comes almost to this other fib, sells off. Down to the fibs, rallies. Down to the fibs, rallies. Down to the fibs, rallies. Like, it's easy to look back and be like, look, you just buy it every time it comes to the fib. But it's like, you know, that's not how trading doesn't work like that.
No, yeah.
So the way that I'm using them is really just like an area of confluence. Like, let's say if we come down to this area, 3818, 3817 to 3800, and we don't have any profile references, but all of a sudden the market starts catching a bid. Well, then I'm thinking, okay, well, what's this catching a bid off of? And then that's what I'm using those fibs for, because I mean, people are looking at the fibs. That's for sure. Because I mean, especially big money is, I mean, I really like the 50% retracement, because that's what I think that big money does. I think they really use like 50% retracements of everything. Like, oh, these things half off, I'll buy some.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely something with the half back,
Yeah.
which really isn't even a fib, but
Right, it's not. Yeah, it's not a fib. It's added in, right?
It doesn't matter.
But that's really why I like the fibs, because it's easy to see 50% retracement, and I think that a lot of there's a lot of psychological, just a lot of like psychological things with something that's half off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, half off.
Like when you go to the store and you buy something and it's like, hey, buy one, get this one half off. You're like,
yeah.
I'm having two. Shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, buy one get one, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, so it's like it's gonna happen. But you know, that's just something that I just started kind of studying, something that I haven't had in my my toolbox, that you know, I think wouldn't be a bad idea, especially because I plan on doing some more long-term trading.
Yeah, and I think the fibs on the higher time frame definitely have a little more clout than, you know what I mean. You know,
I agree.
get
Yeah.
less, bigger money's using them maybe and get less line. So
Yeah, because if you figure a bank is looking at a chart like this, I keep clicking line on close. Oops. Hey, Liquid, man, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure to like and subscribe. That way you get a message every time we go live. I'm trying to change this color real quick so we can see. We'll make it white. And then if it's your first time here, man, let me send you a link to the Discord so you can join. And only thing that we ask is that you be positive and respectful. Right? We've got a community of people that are, you know, positive and respectful, and we don't, you know, we're not into that normal Discord trolling, I'm right, you're wrong type thing. We're all here to learn together. But anyways, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, if let's say you're an institutional investor, right? And you're looking at a chart like this. Let's give us a bigger time frame here. Okay, so you're looking at a chart like this. You've drawn your fibs, and let's just draw it from the COVID low. You're thinking here. What happened here? I thought I made this maximum size. you're thinking here, right? As we're getting back, remember the green is the green is the monthly. You've got this yellow, and you're at that 38%, right? And then don't they say like this 38% is like a pullback level or whatever? So you're at that 38% on a COVID level, and then you're also at the 23% retracement on the yearly level. And so doesn't it make sense, even if you are you're a long-term investor, right? You're a long-term investor. It makes sense to buy some even if you assume that the market may be going lower, right? Because imagine if you draw kind of a channel here, the market's kind of going down a channel, comes back down here, more gets added on the 618, then the market comes up. That's how institutional money's investing, right? So you figure this is 400 points or 800, what is this? Yeah, 600 points. So it can be useful, but you've got to remember, just because this is here doesn't necessarily mean you can just buy it, close your eyes, and then walk away and come back. Because institutional money might be buying it, might get a little bit of a pop, but then the next couple of days might just be, back to the downside. And if you ended up holding, struggling a little bit. Pretty big move there. Now we're back above that point of control. Crazy 20 minutes. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah. That's that Jolt's job report. I haven't looked at the number yet. I'm just thinking about the impulse area, right? So the impulse from that area was basically the open. And so really for me to get long, I've got to see the market get above the open. We saw kind of a real big flip, right? The tick fell apart, the weighted AD fell apart, went negative, and then the sectors, went pretty negative. But now we're getting kind of a bounce. A sign of strength would really be above that 69. I'm watching the 63. That's the number I've been playing pretty much all day, and we can kind of relate this move to news. And we still have 15. I mean, still 12 minutes until period opens up. You're too old for that? That's all right, man. Well, we're pretty much on here every single day, so just join us here. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, too old for trolling. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, we just have, I mean, our Discord community is quiet, but nothing wrong with quiet. Some people could benefit from learning how to deal with quiet, you know what I mean? Those people that are like, they got to be on their phone at all times because they're not comfortable with just sitting in silence by themselves. So 43-point range today so far. Initial balance is set 43 points with a poor high. So we're looking for this zone to confirm here. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this to turn green. So if we can keep this positive tick rolling, and we start to get some green weighted AD, we should be good to go. There's a lot of selling down at the 45. If they don't get back down there, I imagine that these shorts are going to start to. There's some buying going on here too. VWAP's pretty flat. It's coming down a little bit here actually. 9. No, it's looking pretty. There it goes. There goes that break back below 45 where that volume was at. Watch this 45 here area again. If we pop this 45, I think we might catch a little bit of a bid. It's looking like short covering down here, and buyers are stepping in to try to fill a void. 4 minutes, guys. It's like we got some action and now it's back to slow and everyone's kind of like, is the action gonna come back? A little bit of a bid stepping up here on the 45. There it goes, a little bit of a bounce there. Look to see if the bid's still there. It is. Look, they're doing this they're doing this dance again at the 45. Interesting. Buyers are stuck. So buyers are getting trapped down here. They need to pop this thing up above 45. So back below. Imagine we have 3 points of control right in the same spot. Whatever way we do break out of this balance, and it's really hard to know which way we're gonna break. Right? There's opportunity for kind of both sides. Like I said, I think Apple has room to the downside, so I could see the market breaking lower, and that would put the market down a pretty decent amount. But also there's opportunities for the upside as well, and we're just in this balance and just have to maintain applying balance rules for our perspective, right? Or at least to help maintain kind of what we need to just keep us on sides a little bit. All right, C period opens up with some single prints. Let's see if they're going to get filled. Our area acted as support right there. So let's see if they retest it, if it acts as support again. The weighted AD started to look pretty decent until C period opened up, and then we're starting to see it roll over here again. 45 is that E pivot below.
Yeah, I haven't done anything. I can't really get a decent read on anything yet. I didn't take any trades or nothing yet.
Looks like buyers are showing up down here, or at least trying. But it looks like they just popped it up to 53 and then liquidated. $63 was that level above us. Got 45 and 63. See if we're gonna fill these singles, are trying. Look at the tech though. Tech is still down pretty decent here. But buying is trying to climb up, and look at the tick. Tick's been hanging out above 0. I think we're still good here. Look at the VWAP and half back from yesterday are the exact same number.
I was just about to ask you. I was going to say the tick is hanging out above 0, but we're not going up. Is that telling you anything? But I guess you figure it's still looking good.
Yeah, it still looks like it wants to go up. I mean, the tick's been like, besides like that little period, like, you know, this is like
Yeah.
10 minutes here. But I mean, it just came up to that C high and didn't pop here now, so. But I'm long from 46,
I'm not.
so.
I'm not in anything. I was just curious if that was telling you anything sign of weakness, if something that the tick is strong, but the price ain't going up.
It kind of it kind of feels like short covering. It kind of feels like all the buying must be short covering. And so that's what I'm thinking is like, because we're in this T2 range, so before the minutes come out today, I think this person, whoever it is trying to cover as many of their shorts as possible just in case their head gets ripped off.
Yeah.
And so you have all the way down to the 20. So like if this 45 doesn't hold, you know, abandon that trade, and then I mean, you could even probably run it short down to that 21 if you wanted to, especially down this point of control. But you're looking at like kind of not getting accepted inside yesterday's value now, so I still think that this trade is, still quality.
So you're feeling as though the market's kind of holding a bid because somebody's covered.
Right. And so if you
Yeah.
exactly. And so like we just take responsive longs, and then once the
Yeah.
responsive long dies, then I'll just cover. Or you can just wait for it to rally and then sell fade the rally as well. The only thing is, that's the thing is I'm kind of afraid of is if somebody keeps, buying it back, and whoever's been kind of selling today decides, you know what, I'll fucking buy it, and they start buying, and then you have kind of double buying going on, and then the market could really just start to squeeze.
Yeah.
I
Does
just
the
know how
weight
bad short covering rallies are, and so I just get so nervous getting short, like in like the middle of a range. You know what I mean?
is that weighted AD and non-weighted AD showing you anything with it being negative and positive like that?
So that's just telling us that there's a little bit of a divergence. Like there's buying in the market, but the heavier weighted sectors are not getting the love. And it kind of shows you that right here, right above. Like you've got energy, utilities, materials, real estate, all green. Even financials is green, but then we've got healthcare, tech, consumer discretionary communications. The bigger sectors red, and so that gives us a little down. But basically, like to me, what it looks like is like if tech and healthcare flip green, this thing's in a sky. But so far, the selling that's coming in is just all in the weighted sectors. So it's kind of like a rotation. Like they're selling tech and buying energy. So it's not really like they're taking money out of the market. They're just taking risk off, basically, is what this look is like today. And that causes chop and rotation. Because you're not, like, if you're a big seller, you're going to sell some, let's say you're selling Apple or whatever, you're going to sell some Apple, and then Apple's going to drop a nickel, and you're going to be like, all right, I'll wait till it comes back and sell some more.
Yeah, and Apple's up, which is kind of strange.
Yeah. Kumar, what's up, man? What are those red dots? These right here? These are just telling us if it's a negative tick or a positive tick. Dr. VJ, good morning. Yeah, Apple's up 0.7. Still looks like shit, though. Weighted AD is getting more negative here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're in the Zoom. Dr. VJ. Normally do the Zoom when I'm on the mic. Just easier. Discord's normally like when I'm like, got stuff going on or just sharing the screen. Yeah, we're in there. Yup, yup, yup. Uh-oh. It's getting a little ugly. And look, now you're starting to see the weighted AD get lower and lower. Let's see if it's going to make a new low on the day. It was negative 173 earlier. I have my stop at the C low, so I've already taken profit on most of the trade. Like I said, I just had the one runner. I was gonna try to let it go. See if we could. Did you guys see? Isn't there like some crazy storm going on the West Coast? Like supposed to be like life changing or something like that. I think I saw.
Supposedly, but I haven't seen. I've seen that it's supposed to happen, but I haven't seen that it happened.
That's just nuts to think about life changing. Like I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that in the news when it comes to. And they've been talking about like the earthquake that's gonna break California off into the water for a long time, but nice. Very nice. So if we get above half back, which is the VWAP, we can get some Adaruskis on. Let's watch that 63 and then we'll target up higher. Weighted AD might go positive. Weighted AD's flipped green here. Oh, hey, Dad. So if we flip the 63, then we should go to the open. 63 was a big area from earlier. Do we close it or do we let it run? Or do we add? See what happens at the end. Nasdaq rallied all the way back to its VWAP. So let's see if the Nasdaq gets above its VWAP. Apple's rallying here pretty decently. Back to its open. Dow looks decent. The VWAP. We got 10 minutes until the next period opens up. Not much going on here. Just heading to the open. The link? It's under Oh, you see it? Okay. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Right, I mean, right here, we're just waiting for a D period to open up. But you know, we're still inside of initial balance. Everything is really still inside the B period, so the market's really just balancing here. It is balancing. I mean, it's key to note that it is balancing here at the high of balance. You know, above yesterday's value. So we are developing value a little bit higher. And if we continue to develop value higher, there's good odds that we do go up and revisit that poor high or fix that poor high at least, which is going to be where our next area of resistance is at. And then above that, we have, you know, just copy and move this real quick. I'll have to refine it a little bit more, but we've got that 100 daily and then the 3900 psychological reference. So. And right here, our pivot's still 63. But I'll be back. Today's just like a pure tell. What's gonna give first, right? Is tech gonna catch up to energy, or is energy gonna roll over? So I'm watching XLE and XLK side by side here to really, give us some opportunity to get on the right side early.
It feels like XLK is dipping. Meaning it's moving up. The negative side is going.
What'd you say?
It feels like XLK is moving more toward profit, more toward green,
It's trying
versus
to, yeah.
versus energy moving more toward red. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's see if D period's gonna take that open. I'm sitting here waiting for it for like 35 minutes, I feel it. All right, here they go. They're gonna pop the open right here. They're trying to sell into this 62 here again, but just haven't been able to smash it down through yet. Hey, Happy New Year, funders. Future, what is it? Funded futures trading. Happy New Year. All right, I flattened out my ad right there, right below the open. I added on 63, but flattened it out right there. 60, actually 67.75. I kind of got a shitty fill. Still have the one runner though. Hey, Dr. VJ. Yeah, happy and healthy and prosperous year to you as well. Thank you. Yeah, you had amnesia. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to post it. I mean, it's the same link every time, but yeah, I normally post it and I forgot. Been a while. All right, we're breaking up above the open. Let's see if we can hold. There was a little bit of that weak spot was at 75 earlier. So we'll see if it gets going here. Just be careful around the 75, but really you're looking for that 77.5 to act as a little bit of resistance there. Seeing the ticket pegged
That
above 1,000
70,
again.
that 70 is important still. A lot of buyers they just came in there.
At the 70.
70 even, yeah. I think that was the overnight high too. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So
And then
close
the
anyway.
open too is right there as well. So
Yeah, and that 70 was where you saw it this morning, where there was no, it skipped right over the bid.
right.
So if it holds above 70 now, I that's what I would lean. I'm not on, but might be a good lean. Yeah, yeah, they just trade back and forth over it now. Nothing going on.
No follow through. Not yet. Look at the divergence here between the weighted and the unweighted. Huge gap still.
Tech made it above its VWAP though. Seems to be holding it.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But the volume is lighter than yesterday, so you wonder if it's just gonna roll over here. Aye.
Meta looks pretty strong. Microsoft is looking the weakest here. Had a lot of sell volume pre-market. Microsoft did. Netflix is short covering. Damn, Tesla's pre-market today almost had 5 mil. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it here. It's getting pretty slow. I do have the one runner, like I said. You know, still just letting it kind of roll. Have my stop right there, 62. And, you know, we can just kind of let it ride if we get some continuation to the upside. If it does start to fail, obviously I'm not just going to let it run all the way back. I'll just try to get out. If we do get up to this 75 and hold, I'd like to try to add there because I think that a break above this B high is going to be a go with situation. I think we see a decent amount of short covering. And then the target on that short covering will be that 3,900 to 3,904 for the 100-day moving average. There'll be a reaction there. Below that, if we don't, you know, if the market rolls over again, which we've seen happen today twice, it feels like, recovered nicely both times, but if it does roll over again, that target obviously after the low of the day, if they can get below that 45, the market came back down. Even if it broke the C low but didn't break the B low, I think there's a buying opportunity there. But if it isn't able to hold, you're looking at that 34 getting tested. That's that virgin point of control from the third, and then we have some, you know, some T2 low here that might see some short covering before the FOMC minutes come out this afternoon around 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll be around part of the day this afternoon. I've got a couple things going on, but I'll try to be around my computer during the minutes. So if you guys have any questions, just hit me up on Discord. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. If you don't have a trade plan, don't trade. If you don't know how to make a trade plan, jump in the Discord. Plenty of people post their trade plans every single day. Check out theirs and then develop one for yourself, right? You don't want to trade someone else's trade plan, but you can use it as a guideline. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you all tomorrow.